Silver linings are everywhere, and if we're open to seeing them. This was a headline I read, one of Glen Herud's opinion pieces, and along with a podcast episode I listened to featuring Glen's business journey. I really loved his attitude to business that has shared similar veins actually to my own. We know there is a better way that the consumer wants to consume, yet the legacy type infrastructure of the glory days has gone and stood in the way of us achieving that until the day breaks and the consumer becomes the everything. Glen Herud from Happy Cow Milk Company joins us now from his Happy Cow Milk bunker, I understand.
That's where we are. We're in the bunker.
It's a very good-looking bunker there, Glen. Now, of course, you were listening in there before, so I'll throw you under the bus. What is your favourite love song?
It's not really a love song, more like the 90s rap, Funky Cold Medina by Tone Rock.
Okay, yeah, okay, one out of the box. It's nice. It's nice to hear a whole genre of different types of love songs. There's love songs across all genres. It's not just, of course, country. Now, Glen, let's get onto, of course, your amazing journey that I was just saying there with Happy Cow Milk. Just the audience that haven't heard of your business, and of course, as we were saying before, Sarah's Country is global, I have you know. So could you please share us your business journey until now?
Oh, well, the basis of it is that we sort of see around the world smaller farmers are really going out of business, particularly in the US and Europe, and farms are getting larger and larger, and that's really making it more difficult for younger people to go and get into agriculture. So that was the start of it. So we started thinking, how could we go dairy farming with like 50 cows or something like that? And the obvious answer is if you could sell your milk direct, which sounds easy, but it's much harder in practice. So we started the journey of trialing that, and we sort of went for about 4 years. And we just found it was a lot more expensive to set up than I had hoped. And we were growing really, really fast, but we just ran out of capital. So we ended up shutting down. And the community supported us a lot, and we were able to keep going with donations from the public. They wanted to see, a different way of doing dairy. And last November, we raised $400K to relaunch Happy Cow, which I hope to do this winter.
What's it taught you? Was it timing, or was it what was your main business learning through that period to now?
It was really the unsexy stuff is difficult. It's like it's distribution, it's value chains, it's retailers, dealing with retailers. It's all the back end things. It's the invoicing, purchasing orders, the admin, all these little costs that all add up along the way that you sort of underestimate.
And with that 400,000, all good capital raising comes not with just the money, but of course the networks and expertise of those top level investors and board that are taking you forward. What are some of those special key people that believe in Happy Cow's concept?
Well, at the core, we did a crowdfunding round, so it was really the Happy Cow fans, and you would have about 500 odd people invested around $800 each. And we've got a really good board. We've got a great group of people around New Zealand who have always been quite interested in what we're doing and wanted to see a change. Melissa Clark-Reynolds and, now you put me on the spot.
No, but that's okay, Glen. But I mean, the thing is that there is some key people that are getting in behind the concept of Happy Cow. I don't think we clearly sort of covered off at the start about those fundamental things, but let's talk about businesses being more consumer centric, and you saying that it's more than just saying you are.
The interesting thing that I gathered was, when I started, I thought I knew what customers wanted. I thought I knew what the public mood was. And just over the years, we just had hundreds and thousands of customers, not hundreds of thousands, but hundreds of customers emailing me and messaging me just about every day. And you get a really good understanding of where they're coming from and what their concerns are. And I think as farmers, we have the curse of too much knowledge, and we know so much about farming, and we don't... we sometimes lose track of how simplified we need to keep it to communicate with the public. And our cow and calf practice of leaving our cows with their mothers was it just really picked itself. Our customers really picked that up and promoted it, and that's really what we've become known for now.
No, you absolutely nailed it on the head when you're saying that about simplifying it for the consumer. We put so much emphasis on they don't understand, and that that's consumers' fault, where we forget that, of course, we wouldn't be in business if the consumer didn't understand to transact.
Yeah. I think the thing we don't think about is we can get our story out or we can get the facts out or whatever, but the real issue is how do we make it so that the customer actually wants to hear the facts? Because unless it's interesting to them, unless they actually want to do it, they're not going to just jump online and think, what do dairy farmers think about this? So when they're consuming a product, we want, like milk, they really have that interest in how it's been, or who's producing it, if you give them that information. So what we're trying to do is connect local farmers to supply their local market. So and then put customers directly in touch with the local farmer.
I'm really interested to know. I've been following you on Instagram, Glen, and it's just so nice to see that sort of spring back in your steps since obviously that, let's just call it, just a little blip in the system of your journey. You are looking at implementing some new technology to be able to connect the producer and the consumer. I'm really looking forward to hearing a bit more about that.
Yeah, so basically we've designed a system. We call it a milk factory in a box, and it's really revolves around a tank about the size of a dishwasher, and it sits inside a hub, and it's on a dairy farm, and you might have 5 or 6 of these tanks inside the hub, and it's basically controlled by an iPad. And the idea around is how do we take the complexity out of milk processing and the risk out of milk processing. So farmers would fill these tanks up with raw milk, push the button, they'll be pasteurized, and then they take those whole tanks into town and they become milk dispensers. And anyone can buy milk from that tank as long as they have the Happy Cow app.
Wow. So I'm imagining the setup that's in Riverside Market in Christchurch, where you can go in and being able to pour from there. But then there'd be some food safety elements to it, I would imagine, of where you could be selling that, obviously, beyond the farm gate.
Yeah, exactly. So the whole thing, what we really are doing is we're digitising compliance. It's regulatory compliance, and we're just putting everything into a system that only works one way, that can't work another way, and it's so and then reports automatically to the cloud. And we're taking that food processing regulatory burden off the farmer, really.
Well, fantastic. Really looking forward to following your journey. And this is Glen Herud from Happy Cow Milk. Of course, you can follow them across social platforms as well, and have a bit of a look about their business model, which is evolving with a great team of advisors.
This is Sarah's Country.